Shabbat Shalom. It is wonderful to be here together to welcome Shabbat as a community, to be with this sacred community in this sacred space as we welcome the rest, the enlightenment, the renewal that we hope Shabbat will bring. Our service this evening will begin on page 10 of your prayer book as we sing Hine Matov. Page 10.
Lai, lai, la, 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 hine matov. Lai, lai, la, 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 umanahim. Lai, lai, la, 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 Shabbat akib. Lai, lai, la, 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 gam Yaakov. Bim, bam, bidi, bidi, bim, bam, hine matov. Bim, bam, bidi, bidi, bim, bam. Umanayim, bim bam, bidi bidi bim bam, Shabbat akib, bim bam, bidi bidi bim, Gaham Yaakov, bim bam, bidi bidi bim bam, Hine Matov, bim bam, bidi bidi bim bam, Umanayim, bim bam, bidi bidi bim bam, Shabbat akib, bim bam. Bidi bidi bim bam, gam yachad.
Page 12.
Yedid nefesh avarachamot, Yedid nefesh avarachamot, Meshohavtecha, et retza mecha.
Page 10. Time travel.
Meshohavecha, la 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 la, et retzonecha, yaretz avdecha, kemoya, yishtachove lai lai lai, ya la la lai lai lai, el muadarecha, yaretz avdecha, kemoya, yishtachave lai lai lai, ya la la lai lai lai, el muadarecha.
And we continue with the kindling of our Sabbath lights as we bring light into our sanctuary, light into our lives, and the light of Shabbat to the world. I invite Melissa Gerber to join us on the bima to kindle our Sabbath lights as we turn to page 2 and 3 and physically or spiritually rise. Page 2 and 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offering of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, l'chad l'gnei shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who howls us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher
You may be seated. And we continue as we turn to page 20 with Lecha Dodi, as we welcome Shabbat like royalty, like a bride, like a groom, with love, with delight, and with joy. When we reach the final verse, we rise and face the door as we welcome Shabbat into our sanctuary and into our lives. Page 20.
Dodi, likrat likrakala, pene pene shabbat nekabela. Leha dodi, likrat likrakala, pene pene shabbat nekabela. Leha dodi, likrat likrakala, pene pene shabbat nekabela. Leha dodi, likrat likrakala, pene pene shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el mechanu chad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet lilat lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pnei pnei shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi, likrat kala, Pnei pnei shabbat nekabela. Likrat shabbat lechu v'necha, ki hikor habaracha, merosh mikadem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava tikach la dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki ve'orek u'miyori, uri shedaberi, kavod Adonai alayiknika, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'alav, gam besimcha u'tekola. Dokebada am segula, boi chala, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela, leha dodi, likrat kala, pnei shabbat nekabela.
We continue on page 145, page 145 with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadash v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'amad tivra kirutei v'yamlik malkutei. Behayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, u'vizman kariv v'yibaru.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam me'olam. ויפאר, ויפלמן, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לילה מן כל ברכתיו, ושירתיו. טוב בחרתיו ונחמתיו, תמירה מעלמה, ויברור. Amen.
Spiritually or physically, we rise.
Lie, 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 lie. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, bore yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshach, b'choshach mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, uma'avdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai Tzevaot Shemo. El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. In each age we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment we are addressed by the world.
In each age we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai.
We're on page 150.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha Hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibartam bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'lechtecha b'derech, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Amen.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all.
Rest, as imperfection and evil abound.
Before our eyes, there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago, we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event.
So we celebrate this power that makes for freedom.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malkutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ha'yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'elianu ve'amru, ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
Let's read together on page 153. Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לא לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We rise in preparation for the Amidah, the heart of our service, page 155. On page 160. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may we all live in a way that this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Be gracious, Adonai, our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. Oh, may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you are near to all who seek you in truth. Let's read together on the top of 162. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, be truly mindful of us and all your people Israel.
On this,
Sorry, wrong paragraph. My fault. Let our eyes behold your presence in our midst, in the midst of our people in Zion. Blessed is Adonai, whose presence renews Zion. For the good in us, which calls us to a better life, we give thanks.
with our hearts and our hands, we offer praise.
For the desire in us, which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful.
Life and for harmony and beauty, for the hope of tomorrow, all praise to the source of being.
For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael, v'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
As we pray for shalom, for peace, and for wholeness in our world, we pray also for shalom, for shleimut, for wholeness within the selves of those members of our community, those of our friends and our family who do not feel whole at this time. Whether they're broken by an illness of the body or an illness of the spirit or an illness of the mind, we pray that they come to a refuah shlema, a healing of wholeness, a sense of completeness within themselves, a sense of wholeness between them and the universe. If there's someone for whom you are praying for their healing on this Shabbat, I invite you to share the name.
Vicki Russell, Carol Miles.
May they all find healing speedily and soon, all of them and others whom we name in our hearts. The Mesha Berach, our prayer for healing, is on page 253. Or on the inside cover of your prayer book.
Shabbat Avotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Shabbat Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rahel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer. 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 And bless us as well.
We take a moment for our own conversation with the divine in the universe.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you. O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom, Biroma, Uyazeh, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
As we turn to page 5 for Kiddush, our sanctification of Shabbat, it is my pleasure to call up to the bima anyone here who is not yet 13, who is not yet of the age of celebrating becoming B'nai Mitzvah, You are invited warmly to join us on the bima to help us lead Kiddush. You are not forced to come. You are allowed to bring a grown-up with you if you are not able to come up yourself. But come on up. And Harriet Ann Litwin, on behalf of our Board of Trustees, will give you a Kiddush cup. Come on up to the middle. You guys get to be center bima. Take a cup, but don't drink it yet. Whee! And I invite you to rise.
Let us praise God with a symbol of joy and give thanks for the blessing of the past week, for life and strength, for home and love and friendship, for the discipline of our trials and temptations, for the happiness that has come to us out of our labors. You have ennobled us, O God, by the blessing of work, and in love has sanctified us by Sabbath rest and worship as ordained in the Torah. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath, to be hallowed unto the eternal your God.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshah b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinkiranu, zikaron le'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom tehillah lamikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta b'kol amir v'shabbat koshecha b'yama u'ratz Adonai b'kadesh v'shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. Let us stretch our hands over our children, be they children who are here with us, children who are elsewhere in our hearts, and anyone who we have helped to make grow in this world. We offer this blessing. May God bless you and watch over you. May God give you light, and may God give you strength. May God smile on you, and may you always know peace. And together we say, Amen. You may surrender your cup. You may drink the grape juice. I forgot to tell you that you were allowed to do that. Sorry. And you all did an excellent job helping out, so thank you. And I am going to, when you're done drinking, surrender your cups to Mrs. Litwin. And I am going to invite everyone to remain standing for Seder Kriyat HaTorah, or service for the reading of Torah, and you can go back to your seats. So in this Shabbat, we get to start a new book of the Torah. We get to start the book of Deuteronomy, the 5th book of the 5 books. And Deuteronomy is a book that in some ways recaps everything that has happened until then with Moses and the Israelites. And it's Moses' words to the people before they cross over into the Promised Land, leaving him behind. He dies in the end of the story. They leave him behind. These are his parting words to teach them how to create a new place, how to live in a new society, how to be people, how to go on after his leadership. The word Devarim, which is the Hebrew name of the book, means words. And it's all about these words that Moses chooses as his last chance to teach anything to the people. And in the part that I'm going to read, which is the very beginning, it says that Moses said this Torah to the people. Now, Torah can mean a lot of things. Sometimes it means this thing right here. Sometimes it means all Jewish learning. Sometimes it means wisdom. In this case, I think it means that this is the Torah that Moses learned, and these are the lessons that Moses wants to teach. And I think that's a great lesson for us as well, that as we go forth, we have our own wisdom, we have our own lessons, we have our own stories to tell to those around us, to those who are younger, even to those who are older. It is up to us to tell our Torah to the people around us and pass that on. So that's my wish and prayer for all of you. Because it's a new book of the Torah, it's super easy to find. I'm going to invite anyone who has learned some good Torah in the past week or so, come join me for an aliyah. Anyone who's learned some good Torah, however you are defining Torah, Nala Amod, Kol Ha-Midabrim Divrei Torah, La Aliyah La Torah. Thank you. And we're going to be reading, Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 1 through 5, which is on 1161 of your Chumash, of your Torah book, if you want to follow along. Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Va'ed. Amen. I'm going to invite one of you to stand right here and hold this, and another one of you to stand on my other side and hold this because it's not staying closed. Thank you. Ele ha'devarim asher diber Moshe al kol Yisrael be'ever ha'yarden b'midbar ba'arava mol suf ben paran uven tofel uleven v'lavan v'chatzerot v'di zahav. Echad asar yom mechoreb derech har seir ad kadesh barnea. Vayehi ba'arba'im shana be'ashtei asar chodesh be'echad lechodesh diber Moshe el b'nei Yisrael kechol asher tziva Adonai oto alehem. Acharei hakoto et Sichon melech ha'emori asher yoshev b'cheshbon ve'et Og melech habashan asher yoshev ba'ashterot ba'edrei be'ever hayarden be'eretz Moav ho'il Moshe be'er et ha'torah hazot lemor. These are the words that Moses spoke to all of the Israelites at the edge of the Jordan on the other side, in the wilderness, in the Arava, right near Suf, between Paran and Tofel and Lavan and Chatzerot and Dizahav. It's, by the way, 11 days trip from Horeb by way of Mount Seir to Kadesh Barnea. They're giving us directions. And it was the it was 40 years, because they've been wandering for 40 years. 40 years, and in the 11th month, on the first of the month, that Moses spoke to the children of Israel all of what the Eternal had commanded him to them, to say to them. After he had fought with Sihon, the king of the Amorites who lived in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtarot and Adrai, across the Jordan in the land of Moab. Moses started to teach enthusiastically the words of this Torah to the people. Amen. It's my pleasure to invite CJ Mays up to do Hagba, to lift the Torah so that we can see what we have read, and I invite everyone spiritually or physically to rise.
וזאת התורה ישר משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה לי לי לי
Earlier this week, I got back from spending 2 weeks on faculty at URJ 6 Points Creative Arts Academy, a camp that opened just last summer. It rents space at the Westtown School right in Westchester. There were 3 kids there for the 3rd session when I got to be on faculty. We had 2 kids there from our congregation. There were 3 kids from here. There were more than that at the camp. There had been 2 kids from this congregation there earlier in the summer. Benjamin Lasner, who used to be our youth director, was also at camp working. It was nice to see so many CBE faces in my time not physically in the building. A lot of you probably know that I love summer camp. In fact, on Sunday, I'm going to be going to Alumni Day for Camp Harlem, and I'll see some of our campers who are there on Monday. And camp has always been a really important place in my heart, wherever that camp is. And I've come to realize that in some ways, while we talk about Shabbat as an island in time, Camp is kind of like Shabbat, but in space. That it's a place where a society is created on values. People can try things, people can be themselves, and that is truly exemplified at the Creative Arts Academy. It's especially a joy to be there, and it's a place where I learn a lot. So I want to take the opportunity to teach you a little bit about what I learned at camp. Because yes, I did have fun at camp, which is always everyone's first question, but really it's so much more than having fun. Between leading ritual moments to start and end each day, creating Shabbat worship, and being an integral part of the camp community, being part of the group that goes to majors and minors, that takes part in evening programs, that helps supervise meals, it's actually a lot of work. I was blessed to have a wonderful faculty community with me, which is our own community within the community. We still have our group chat where we play games and ask questions that are sometimes relevant to the world and are sometimes just silly, because sometimes we get to be just silly, something we don't get to do a lot in the real world. Whether playing a board game, talking about our work, brainstorming plans for the year in our synagogues, or going out for gelato, we spent a lot of great time together and made a lot of sacred connections. And in thinking about the Torah portion, I was thinking about the idea of intentional speech, which really is what the Torah portion in the whole book is all about. And I thought about the intentionality of camp, which pervades so much of what is done there. The good thing about a camp that's only 2 years old is that nothing is done because we've always done it that way. Everything is intentional. Everything has meaning behind it. It's apparent in so many ways. It's apparent in the way that we use gender language at camp, where people introduce themselves with their pronouns as the default, and where boys can wear dresses if that's what they want to do. In fact, the ritual moment that starts the day we call Mo moments, which is short for Modeh or Modah, which means thank you, traditionally one of the prayers we say in the morning. But recognizing that not everyone at camp identifies as a feminine or masculine person, and Modim being a completely separate prayer, we just call it Mo moments, because it's inclusive of everyone. There's an idea at camp of things that are camp and things that are not camp. Things that we don't talk about at camp, not because they're necessarily bad, but they aren't appropriate to that space. Even the kids get this and refer to things as, oh, I was going to say that, but that's not camp. I wish we lived in a world where there was more conversation and more times when camp was the reality. And these ideas, this intentionality, is apparent in the core values of camp: creativity, curiosity, craftsmanship, and grit. After last year, they added a fifth, collaboration, as the leadership recognized that all of those other things can be done alone, and they wanted something that reflected the idea of community. These values are printed on large signs in the Chadar Ochel, or dining hall. Each of the 5 values is at the core of the morning and evening rituals. At Mo Moments, the start of the day, in between the prayers and songs, one of the faculty members focuses on one of the 5 values and how the community can pursue that value during that day. As part of the ritual, one of the daily blessings, the Nisim B'chol Yom, is chanted, framed with the connection to that value. And at Siyum, at the end of the day, our closing ritual, in between different prayers and songs, the same faculty member reviews how the campers and staff indeed lived that value, asking for examples of how are you curious today, or how did you pursue creativity? And on Shabbat, staff gives out bracelets, they look just like this, with each of the values to campers and to each other, for moments when different people exemplified those values. A camper who pushed through homesickness might get a grit bracelet from their counselor. A staff member who helped that camper get through that homesickness in a unique way might get a creativity bracelet from their head counselor. It's a great way to really make the values part of camp, and for the camp community to recognize those values in each other and learn how to articulate that. The bracelet idea is not unique to this camp, But the particular way it is done at CAA, and really at any of the camps, is special. And hearing the staff express these values and describe the examples and how that example relates to that value truly demonstrates that they get it. And is really an integral part of the summer experience. They're talking, by the way, of adding a sixth value, because 6 points, 6 values. It's a nice number. And one of the discussions is to make intentionality that value. There's other ideas of what the values could be as well, but they help us to have intentional behavior in an intentional space. And so I ask you, as we don't live inside a summer camp, I think we can still create the same ideal. What are your core values? How have you lived those values this week? And how do you plan to use those values and live those values in the week to come? Camp teaches us that it is possible to build a community based on the ideals to which we aspire. And so I challenge you, how are you going to build your community, any of your communities? On Sunday, we will observe as a Jewish community Tisha B'Av, a day of memorial, a day which commemorates many losses of the Jewish people, the date on which both the first temple and second temple were destroyed, a date on which many other tragedies have happened. It's a day of grief, of mourning, of destruction, but it also contains a message of hope. The sages taught that the temple was destroyed because people lacked respect for each other. People didn't live their values. And so perhaps the message of camp is one and the same, that we can live our values, that we can do better, and by doing so, we can create a world that is better, a world that is more complete, a world that is the one of which we dream. So may it be for us all, Ken Yehi Ratzon. And as we consider that world which we want to build, the values on which we want to build it, we turn to the Aleinu on page 282, our prayer that reminds us that it's on us. It is up to us, each of us and all of us, to build a world that is repaired. We rise. 282. As we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish, I share this reading, not found within our prayer books. It's a selection from Beloved by Toni Morrison. She writes, I was talking about time. It is so hard for me to believe in it. Some things go, pass on. Some things just stay. I used to think it was my rememory. You know, some things you forget, other things you never do. But it's not. Places are still there. If a house burns down, it's gone, but the picture of it stays. And not just in my rememory, but out there in the world. What I remember is a picture floating around there outside my head. I mean, even if I don't think it, even if I die, the picture of what I did or knew or saw is still out there, right in the place where it happened. If you are in the period of Shiva or Shloshim, I invite you to rise, having lost a loved one in the past 7 days or past 30 days. If you have lost a loved one in the past year, I invite you to rise. And if you are marking the yahrzeit of a loved one whose anniversary of their death occurs this week, I invite you to rise. And to all of us, I invite us all to rise in commemoration of Tisha B'Av and various destructions within the Jewish community. Page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach leolam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit alev, v'yit halal, shemei d'kudsha brichu. Le'ela mincho birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'ol kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'ol kol Yisrael, Imru, amen. On this Shabbat, remember those who have passed in recent days and weeks: Regina Miller, Thera Detweiler. And we remember Ralph E. Belfour, Marion Bennett, Teresa Brand, Joel Citron, Jacob Kramer, Florence Drews, Joseph Green, Sylvia Green, Aaron Keel, Deborah Leff, Morris Levy, Abe Rose, Donald Savage, Lena Spivak, Jack Stape, Veronica M. Tannen, Mary Timoney, Henry Wirtschafter. If there's anyone else for whom you are saying Kaddish, I invite you to share the name. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. Together we say, Amen. You may be seated. Please check your Sabbath lights and its inserts for upcoming programs at our temple and in our community. Please join our community for Torah study tomorrow morning, led by Judith Insigna. And thank you to Cheryl for leading music so beautifully and being a great partner in worship on this Shabbat. And thank you to Harriet Ann for being our board representative. Thank you to Melissa for lighting our candles. I'm not sure who ushered, but thank you to the ushers. Was it you? Reva Brown? Thank you for ushering.
And thank you to Dennis for playing.
And thank you to Dennis for playing. Thank you for reminding me. And thank you all for being here and being part of our community as we build this holy community together. Our closing song. What is our closing song? Lachuna Ranana.
Page 12.
Page 12. I invite you to rise.
Lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, ladonai. Lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, ladonai. Naria, naria, letzori ishenu, bekad ma'afadna bakutla. Naria, naria, letzori ishenu, Bishmi ranarina lo, lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, ladonai. Lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, lehuna ranena, ladonai.
so that we can all enjoy the goodies that are outside for us at our Oneg Shabbat, or as we celebrate the joy of Shabbat with a nosh, I invite you all to join me in Motzi. Ha-motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our prayer is joyfully said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, v'tei avon. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yasher Kelach, that was beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis.